Fantasy Football Picks and Bets show on the Mayo Media Network. I'm your host, Scott Simpson. As always, we are presented by Prize Picks. Sign up for Prize Picks using the link in the description below, code MMN, and get your deposit doubled up to $100. I say it every time, LQ. That's basically free money. I'll do a little boasting later. I did win some Prize Picks money. I turned my free $100 into $250, something like that now. But anyway, do subscribe. And while you're there, subscribe to the Mayo Media Network. Smash the like button. You know, I always hear Pat, whenever he introduces his show, remind people to do it. So I want to be just like Pat when I grow up. So do it. You're going to love it. The content here, over 30,000 subscribers, can't be wrong. All right. And I know I'm one of them. My host here is one of them as well. The Real Deal Fantasy on Twitter, LQ LaQuan. How you doing, brother?
What up, man? Fantasy might be over, but there is DFS out here and there's money to be made. So glad to be here for another Tuesday night.
Oh, for sure, man. And guess what? I started talking with my hands already. I saw it in the broadcast.
I saw that. I wasn't going to say anything.
I know. It's just like, what do you do with your hands? Keep them down, Will Ferrell. You know, control yourself. But we're excited. Week 18, kind of a bit of a free-for-all. That's what we've kind of come to expect for week 17. We got the extra week this year. The free-for-all, DFS wise, money's up for grab. Prize Picks are up for grabs as well. So please, if you haven't signed up yet, make the move, right? It's a smart business move. You get $100 free when you sign up. 100 for 100 sounds perfect for me. So let's jump in. And LQ, before we do, I want to boast about my Prize Pick hit from last week, right? Because sometimes you get a little parlay going and it hits, right? So I had a 4-legger and I hit every single one of them. It was only for $20, but I won $100. Pretty easy to turn a 4-pick parlay into 100. Here's my picks. Deebo Samuel over 42 and a hook passing yards, crushed it, right? Braxton Berrios over 9.5 fantasy points. Holy shite. I think he got that one done in the first.
That was a free space.
That was just it was like a connect the dots, when you win anyway. And then Damian Harris, he had over 12 or 11 and a half fantasy points. He did get, 2 touchdowns in the first half before he get pulled for the hammy, got that one. And then Matthew Stafford over 277 and he always gets over 300 passing yards. That's what Matthew Stafford does. Even in that shitty, terrible game where he sucked it up for the first half, he rallied in the second half, got me the yard. So do get in there on Prize Picks. It's just so much fun to watch the money come back, especially when it's free, right? You get the $100 free. So let's jump in to Prize Picks for this week. And LQ, I'm going to let you roll out your pick first. So we're at the board. We don't have all the selections, but we have the Tuesday selection. So there's a few that are kind of low-hanging fruit in our eyes. Give us your first one.
I'm going to go with Javonte Williams against Kansas City for the 48 and a hook for the rushing yards. I'm going to hit the over here based on it's the end of the season, not much to play for. I feel as though, Melvin Gordon's up for free agency. Javonte Williams is the investment for the future, and they've been splitting it right down the middle. So I feel as though, Javonte Williams with this favorable matchup against Kansas City, he's going to be able to hit over the 48 and the hook. I definitely feel as though he's a hard runner. We love to see him play, and I think he has something to prove and put a statement of why they should go into next year with him, the sole RB1.
Yeah, right now he is at 857 yards. So, possibly he could get to 1,000. It's a stretch, but maybe, and as a first-year rookie, I think he's done a really good job. He's got a 4.5 rushing average. It's a little bit better than Melvin Gordon, just career-wise.
Slightly.
Melvin Gordon, 4.2 this year, 800 yards, so a little bit better from Williams. I do like that call. Let me jump in with my first pick, right? I'm going running back as well, and it's Saquon Barkley. Now, Saquon Barkley has not lit the world on fire this year, right? He's been a bit of a disappointment. Let's just be honest. Right. Well, honestly, in DFS, he has not been, but in fantasy, full send, he's been a disappointment. But last week, over 100 yards against the Bears. He's had games of 64 yards, 50 yards, 55 yards. So right in that ballpark, right? Playing against Washington, we know Washington does give up yards against the running back position. So I'm pretty safe in this. I think it's a nice over 56 and a half. What do you think about Saquon? Are we leaning too much here, or is just the volume there for the Giants and kind of they don't have a quarterback? So what are you else going to do?
That's what I was going to say. They don't really have much of a spark going on with the lack of quarterback talent. So I feel as though they have to lean on Saquon. I do believe they're going to want to try to win the game. Every game matters, you know what I mean? So Saquon, you could definitely see being leaned on as the sole playmaker of that offense. So it's like you might have, Booker come in, take a little carries in there, but that's just, take some of the weight off, take some of the, pressure off of Saquon when he's tired and et cetera. So full send it.
No, I like it. All right. We both have wide receivers on the comeback. And you know what? We talked about this before. It's hard to avoid division matchups this week because, I mean, all the games were basically division games, right?
Yeah.
So, but I like yours. Yours found a terrible division, right? First of all, in the AFC South. Well, not the whole division, but two teams particularly this year been terrible, right? Two teams been pretty good. And Jacksonville hosting, or maybe Michael Pittman being hosted by their DBs, right, for some yards. What do you think about this 55 and a hook?
This is a smash based on what we've seen versus division games. If we're going to look at all his division games, within, he's been, fairly good. He had some of his best games. And we're talking about Jacksonville right now. They're giving up 233, yards per game through the air. So this is going to be a smash. Obviously, Jacksonville has nothing to play for. Their playoff hopes are never existing. So we're going to be looking at a slaughter. So we'll see Carson Wentz go out there, ball out with Pittman. So full send it.
I like that pick a lot. Jacksonville, sorry, that was crude. But what it stood for is that they're terrible. And you saw it this past week. Oh my goodness. I didn't know Wilkerson. Is that Wilkinson? I'm trying to figure out the guy from New England who just kept catching touchdowns against them. I was just like, I never got that guy in DFS. 3K for sure. Next week will be priced up. Not worth it. But maybe if you're going to play this matchup, I don't know, T.Y. Hilton's available. There's other players. Anyway, I do like this pick though. 55 and hook. I've got a little cheaper, a little less than you, surprisingly. Terry McLaurin, 52 and a hook. Now, Scary Terry hasn't been super scary this year. The Washington football team is just falling off a cliff. But last week did have 7 receptions, 8 targets. Philly is a good defense, by the way. They're top 3 against the wide receiver, holding them to not a lot of yards, not a lot of catches. But 61 yards, I like that. And 2 weeks ago against Philly, 51 yards. So that's against one of the better defenses. Against the team they're going to face this week in the New York Giants, not a good defense. The second week of the season, he had 11 receptions on 14 targets, 107 yards. So I like half of that. I'll take half of that.
I'm about to say half.
I just take half. Give me half of 107. That's all I need for this one. So I like it. I might do another $20, and I might just put on Saquon over 56 and a hook, Terry McLaurin over 52 in the hook, and then roll your Javonte Williams 48 in the hook and Michael Pittman 55 in the hook and over for another $100.
Sounds like a ticket, man.
That's $100 right there, right? $20. It's already free if you put in $100 and they give you I'm free rolling. So we're all free rolling off this. I love it. Please sign up right now. MMN down in the description. You can just link it. It goes right there. And then you're like putting it in, and then you're starting, and then you're playing with us every week, and you're having lots of fun. And as we say, LQ, fire content only here from Scott and LQ. That's just how it always goes. I do love your stuff there. And I gotta say, way to pull out the victory. As a Rams, I appreciate the Rams. I appreciate Matthew Stafford, McVay, the whole deal. They were not playing well. What do you think about this past weekend?
Man, look, Matthew Stafford has been a fourth quarter gem. So when the fourth quarter hits, I know for a fact he's going to turn it up. He's one of those guys who's going to have a comeback story. He's one of those guys that we've seen through history have comeback games. So feels though, after halftime, Sean McVay always makes his adjustments, which is great. You kind of, as a Rams fan, just go through this roller coaster of emotions. Like, I'm screaming at the TV, standing up, 2 inches from the TV, screaming at Sean McVay, thinking he can hear me. But as a Rams fan, you just got to understand adjustments will be made. And Matthew Stafford is one of the comeback kings. So, I'm not too worried. So I'm just looking forward to the playoffs.
I love that. A sign of a good coach, Bill Parcells, Joe Gibbs, growing up when I was in the 80s watching football as a kid, they would make halftime adjustments, right? That's how they would come back in the second half, down 15, down 20, whatever. You're like, oh my gosh, remarkable,
Yeah, I feel like it's like a strategy almost, because you see, I'm like a diehard Rams fan, if you couldn't tell, but the first quarter, he will stuff it down your throat of what he's doing. The second quarter, he'll do it less, but try to throw something else in. If it doesn't work, he's like, okay, they're going to expect us to do this coming out of the half still because they think they're up. And then boom, right in your face, we win the game. So it's kind of like one of those ordeals where the defense steps up, offense obviously steps up, and you're just wondering, how does Cooper Kupp end up open all the time?
In the middle of the field, no less.
Yeah. Adjustments, man.
Yeah. Maybe he's invisible to the corners. You know what I mean? Blend in, I don't know. But no, I like it. So, all right, we don't have the kind of start sit this week. We normally go over start sit, but I saw a tweet out there and it was yours. This is the fire kind only. If you're in a league that's starting people this week, that is finishing your championship league this week, get out of that league. Get the hell out. And I had to
Do not return.
Yeah, that's a stupid. I'm in no leagues that a championship is being played now. I won 3 last week, the week before, so we're done. This is
just PTSD for me. My first ever fantasy league, ever playing fantasy, was a standard league, and they had a double, basically a double week of champions. So you play the same person twice, and I'm thinking, in my head, I'm screaming, yeah, I won. And then oh no, there's another week. You play the same person again, and then they combine the points, and I'm like, what? No. And I had so many players that were sitting because they were in playoff conversation.
Right. They did great the week before when you won your championship.
Yeah. So it's never again. If you're inviting me to a league that does that, I promise you I'll block you. I'll never talk to you again.
Right. I'm with you, man. And listen, we're going to just talk to Pat, maybe Pete and other people here at the league or here at the Mayo Media Network to get a league going. And anybody pulls that bullshit, block, right? But anyway, we are going to go over some injuries because, first of all, fantasy for best purposes, but then gambling purposes too. You kind of want to have an edge, in all your different wagers and moves. So let's talk about the players who are definitely out, done, kaputs. Baker Mayfield. I mean, he's been done a long time, no joke. But he's out, and then but Dearness Johnson, he's out as well. Had a good game, yesterday. A little disappointing for him. And then we also, have a little bit of a word on our guy, the Chubb Master. He has a rib issue, so he's questionable. But the Browns kind of petered out at the end, man. No offense, they kind of were hot in the beginning, Super Bowl picks by some, and they just limping into the end of the season. So sorry, it's another year with being the Browns.
Yeah,
it's like
they're used to this.
One of their best years too. So
sadly.
Sad, unfortunately. A couple other players out. Michael Gallup, you saw him go down with that touchdown catch. Oh man, so sad to see someone hurt their leg and their knee.
Contract year.
Oh man, I love that guy too. Alex Collins also on the IR, he's out. Adam Thielen, he's out IR. And then we've got some COVID issues. Khalif Raymond, COVID. Darren Waller, COVID, Jared Cook. Now watch all of these guys to see how, if they come back, if the window shortens and they're able to be symptomatic free. But it's tricky for those going through that. So be aware of that. Kirk Cousins as well. He might be coming off. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to come off. You see how pissed Zimmer was when people asked if they wanted to see Mons more. He just said,
"For what? I see him every day.
I see him every day." He was so upset. I hope his supermodel girlfriend gave him a hug when he got home.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was so funny. So, not funny. Teddy Bridgewater doubtful, still in the concussion protocol. Prayers for Teddy, man. It did not like that hit at all. It was so sad. So scary. Miles Sanders doubtful as well with a wrist. Don't count on any of these guys in DFS. So opens up some, Boston Scotts, Jordan Howard's of the world, if you want to consider them. Players that are questionable, right? And so I'm going to kind of give you the lean. Do you think they play or not? You tell me what you think. Lamar Jackson, does he actually make it back for this last week?
It's tough, man. I thought he was ready to go last week, but then there seems to be some type of setback in the middle of the week for practice. Didn't practice Thursday, Friday, and then et cetera. So I'm not too sure what the update is on his injury. So it's kind of like a question, that's why he's questionable if he plays or not. So I'm not too sure how to answer that.
Yeah, I think we need more information. I agree with you. Just later in the week, just monitor that situation. Another quarterback, this one on the other side of the country, Jimmy G, the Garoppolo. He's got that UCL tear, the fracture in his right thumb. I don't think he's coming back. But officially, he's questionable right now officially. So, but see what happens. Trey Lance did lead them to victory last week, and I mean, you got Debo, you got Elijah Mitchell, you got Kittle. So there's other people there who can kind of sustain them this week for sure. What do you think about the Cardinals? They've been doing the Lord's work, apparently beating Dallas last week. No offense to Dallas fans, but I grew up a Washington football fan. No longer. I'm not a fan of anybody. I'm a fan of football. I love every player. I'm every player, but I love the game itself. So, but James Conner, Rondo Moore, both questionable. They're still winning. How do you think they're going to kind of go into the playoffs? So you think they kind of sit them this week, or do they want to kind of jockey for position? How's it going to play?
They'll probably sit James Conner 100%. They do need him back. I feel as though they're kind of limping into the playoffs low key as well, even though they're winning games. I know, when it's playoffs, it's a different type of feeling, man. Like tensions are high, and you also don't want to face, a division game in that wild card or anything like that. And then they get momentum and then they beat you the next round. It's like,
Right.
shit, this is embarrassing. So, the Cardinals have some work to do. I feel as though, they're limping into the playoffs. So they're a little sketchy team because, the second time they played us, man, we whooped their ass. So
You did. It's everybody, like every team has a kryptonite, right?
Yeah.
I think of Green Bay, their kryptonite is Tampa Bay. So like or New Orleans is Tampa Bay's kryptonite. So it just kind of
Tennessee, et cetera. Yeah.
Very interesting. All right, let's talk rookie tight end Kyle Pitts setting rookie record for receiving yards and breaking Tony Gonzalez's rookie record. Good for him. Hammy issue. You saw him come out of the game for a little bit. Is he going to end the year with only one touchdown, which is insane? Did the Julio curse get past to him? Like, what's going to go on here?
It definitely got past him because, like, why isn't he like the big red zone focus? Why is he not having multiple touchdown games? Honestly, it's like sick to say in the head that Jacoby Myers has more touchdowns than the Kyle Pitts. Like, it's crazy to even think about at this point. But I don't know, man. I feel as though he might end the season with only one touchdown, but he broke records. Shout out to him. He did better than I personally expected. That's why all off season I was kind of like quiet about him because I don't know where to put him. You know what I mean? He's somewhat like a wide receiver. He's still a tight end by label, but can he ball? Can he play? Yeah, he could play. So, shout out to him. He went over expectations for me.
Questions, can Matt Ryan play? So
Matty Ice might be needed to put on ice.
Sometimes when you're drinking the natty ice, right at the end, you're just like, this doesn't taste good anymore. You know what I mean? So,
it's a little flat.
A little flat. It is, right. All right. A couple of friends who are going to be in playoff contention here. Emmanuel Sanders day to day with a knee. I mean, we're all day to day, prayers out for Emmanuel Sanders. I'm not sure they need him right now. Joe Burrow, though, you saw him not end the game, right? He was out limping with his leg. Scary stuff. Now, Zach Taylor just not decided what he's going to do with the starters yet. So it's not like he's going to have to put Burrow out there. Maybe he kind of pulls them in this game. They're in the playoffs. It's all they need. Doesn't want to worry about matchups necessarily.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? Would you, or do you think Zach Taylor will rest kind of the starters for Joe Burrow, or you don't know if Joe can go or not?
I mean, Joe Burrow definitely, because that injury looked crazy with him limping, but it's been said that he was ready to go back in to win a game if need be. But, some guys are just talking off adrenaline or just trying to, put a tough guy aspect out there. But I feel as though Joe Burrow is tough. But I think Zach Taylor's best move this week would probably sit Burrow.
Yeah, no, I agree. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. Nick Chubb rib injury. Just wanted to reiterate that. Keep an eye on the Brown situation. Kareem Hunt in the mix there. No Dearness Johnson. So pay attention there if you're a big Cleveland DFS supporter this week. I'm not sure I would be, but but another team I'm not sure I'd be all in on is the Denver Broncos. Ever since Teddy went down, Drew has just disappointed, which we kind of understood that was going to happen. But Drew Lock's got a shoulder injury. That's not great. Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, both questionable. Noah Fant, questionable with the quad, all limited today. If there's a projected practice for today, they're limited. So that's a good sign. They're not, didn't practice. So pay attention. I like the running backs more than I like the wide receivers for the team, honestly, given Drew Lock and his situation. So what do you think though about Noah Fant? Is he somebody who you want to play this week, or, is that quad injury kind of going to keep you away?
They honestly don't have nothing to play for. I feel as though this will be a smart move to reserve the guy if he can't go, if he's not 100%. What are we looking at right now? You know what I mean? It's not like there's a game that needs to be won here. So, honestly, I will pull back on Noah Fant as well.
Yeah.
Especially with his history with injuries.
Agreed. He's missed several games this year, and last year missed a couple games too. So, Jared Goff, we got Dan Campbell says he has a 50-50 shot. I thought the same thing about Goff that you said about Fant. Sit the man down. Let him go with the supermodel girlfriend. He's got a real supermodel girlfriend, by the way. No offense, to his rival, over there in Minnesota, but I'm sure he'll figure it out. But anyway, I would rest Jared Goff. What do you think about that?
Yeah. What is he really going out there to do? I mean, you already seen the flashes of leadership from him, which you honestly were like pounding the drum all, in the beginning of the season. And he finally showed some spark, some leadership. So I think he goes into next season with that momentum and kind of just let him rest out, man. If he's hurt, he's hurt, just let him be. And then start off the off season, right with him coming in that momentum as the leader of the team.
Yeah, I like that call a lot. Speaking of players who we thought were going to be leaders of the team, possibly Cam Akers. He's questionable. Does he play this week? Does he play?
I mean, Sean McVay said he's going to make his debut. He said he's going to play just to get some rust off to, have a bar. He's definitely going to be on a snap count. So don't expect like 10 carries, but he's going to play just to see where he's at. So he can have an idea of what's going to happen in the playoffs. Like he needs to know some of these schemes. Like in the playoffs, I would not be surprised if we see a wildcat from him again, which gets me excited because it looks like, Sean McVay is believing in Cam Akers for the future. So that's good to see and good to hear. So I definitely think he plays just very limited. So don't expect the stars in the moon.
Yeah, well, I'm just excited to see Cam Akers back so quickly. I mean, what a remarkable. It was in July.
It's right? Nuts.
He's been working hard. So to come back this early is awesome. Hopefully he does not get hurt at all. Speaking of somebody who, on and off again hurt, Damian Harris, hammy, did not play in the second half. If you're, they do have a playoff position already secured, the Patriots, but they're vying for a division title here. If there's a slip up by the Bills, I don't think there will be, but in case there is, right, they could swoop in and get the division title. But they also have Ramondre Stevenson. You don't even need to play Harris. Just let that.
That's what I'm saying. No, there's really no reason if you have Stevenson. I mean, we saw that, both of them can handle the workload with one or the others out. So I think it's an obvious call here.
Yeah. Hopefully they can rest him up for the playoffs. I want to see everybody healthy in the playoffs. And week 18, if you're already in, you do what you can to do the win, I guess, if you need a jockey for position.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. A couple players. Sorry, go ahead.
Against a division team also, it's like stupid at this point trying to risk it.
Agreed. A couple players who I'm not sure if they're on anybody's radar, but Traquan Smith questionable, Kadarius Toney, never questionable all year. 1 game, 2 games, awesome. Rest of it, okay. Jameson Crowder questionable, which was great last week because it led to Braxton Berrios blowing up. Yeah, shout out.
Braxton's free agent, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And going some dynasty talk there.
That guy is one of the guys that Bill Belichick regretted not making a covering for in the practice squad. He got signed off the practice squad for the Patriots to the Jets. He said, that was a guy I wanted. You took my guy. So, that's a big deal. Braxton's a beast. Maybe he goes back to the Patriots. Then you got Braxton there. Oh, man, it'd be great. Anyway, Elijah Moore quad. He had a workout Monday. Maybe he goes. Pay attention to see what happens with the Jets receivers if you're in the DFS realm, which we are. Michael Carter's in the concussion protocol, unfortunately. But if he clears it, gets it out, he can play this weekend. And then we talked about him last week, a little bit teased it. Derrick Henry, the king. He's expected to practice this week, starting tomorrow, but long shot to play on Sunday. Would you knock the rust off like Cam Akers or go, this guy's got all the rust knocked off before he doesn't need any of that?
Nah, I would shut it down. I would wait. He has a 3-week window. I mean, this is week 1 of the window, so why rush it, man? I mean, I feel as though you're going to get him, when you need him in the playoffs. So just relax, chill out.
And if they win this week and they're the number 1 seed, then they can rest him another week, right? Which is ideal. And then he really can come back. And so maybe they can even give him a little work on the side running around. You know what I mean? So that's a little bit better than having to force him into a game right away. So, all right, this has been great. I got to tell you, I love it. This is fire content only. I'm excited to be burned up every week by LQ and his takes because they are great.
I like that.
Win some of your money. Win some money. We try to explain this to everybody. It's free, right? When you sign up, you get that $100 and just free roll that $100. All right. Yeah. It turned into another $100. I mean, if I can do it, you can do it. I mean, look at me, right? Come on, seriously. LQ can probably do it too. I mean, he looks way better than me, so he can probably even do it better.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm 40. I'm 42. You're 30. So yeah. Anyway, this has been awesome. I love it. This is week 18 here at the Mayo Media Network. Make sure you sub to the channel, smash the like button, right? We need to get all the likes we can. And then also sign up for Prize Picks, MMN, down in the link. Sign up for that thing. You're going to love it. Get that money made. LQ, where can people find you? You're still working, right? I mean, even though Yeah, me too. Where are you working?
Yeah, there's no off season. You can catch me over at Downtown Rams. Got articles going to be flying out, next week. With Dynasty on the rise, startups and et cetera, mock drafts. We're starting it early, man. I know football ain't over completely, but us fantasy guys are degenerates, so we just got to keep working. But of course, fire content only at the Mayo Media. Real deal fantasy on all social media platforms, and I mean that. Take my words as I say them. Yeah, that's about it.
No, I love it, man. This is like my favorite thing to do every Tuesday, right? My family's asleep already. I'm just living the dream talking football with a friend. So, LQ, please go follow him, by the way, all those platforms. If you don't, then go follow me. If you don't, go follow him, follow both of us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming everyone follows us, but if you don't, right, I'm just assuming you do. Nimble W Numbers on Twitter, nimblewnumbers.com for DFS. I write GPP every week for my site. My man Bowman Big Time writes cash. In the clash of the beards and bellies, I was down big. I talked about this off the air. I was down big. Now I am one behind Bo. He's won 9. I've won 8. And I'm coming back strong to tie him up. Week 18 into the playoffs we go. And the winner gets $100 plus bottle of their choice of Scotch bourbon, whatever you want.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah, I got to win. I already got a bottle from my guy, Pat Mayo, Hedonism by Compass Box. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to tuck into that. So thank you to Pat. Thank you to all you listeners. You guys are awesome. LQ, everybody behind the scenes. Thanks for making 2021 awesome and jumping into 2022, crushing it with us. Anything else you guys say?
No, let's full send it to 2022, man.
I love it. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.